Good evening. Welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great Monday. We're going to try our best to make it even better for you. We're breaking down the hottest topics everyone's talking about, the latest in the Diddy trial, the immigration protests in Los Angeles, and the Trump administration's response. Plus, Simone Biles, and sports political contributor Riley Gaines exchanged words after Gaines called out Minnesota High School, whose softball team won a state championship with a transgender. Now, Real Housewife of Atlanta, Brit Eady, she is suing Bravo. Find out why. All that and much more. Want to remind you, we're on Facebook, Blue Sky X, of course, our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe and comment. Now, this month is Black Music Appreciation Month. Again, this was originated in June 7th, 1979 by then President Jimmy Carter, but then became an actual bill in 2000 with Diana Williams after 10 years of her pursuing it in Congress. So shout out to that. There's also Pride Month for the LGBTQ month community. So celebrate everybody. All right. Family, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing good on this Monday.
All right.
All right. Well, the question of the day is, would you date someone with bad credit if everything else about them is perfect? Brittany.
Yeah, I would. That's an easy fix. Like, as long as we can work together, like, I'm not like that.
Yeah. What about you, Chica?
That's something that could be fixed.
Yeah. And someone said I would date someone with bad credit and work through it before we get married, if we were to get to that point. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, because that debt can come yours, y'all get married. But let us know on Blue Sky and X, would you date someone if they had bad credit, but everything else was great? All right, so Jane Doe is still testifying against Diddy, and she is telling it all. In her testimony, Jane Doe detailed Diddy's alleged threatening to send her sex tapes to her child's father and being with Diddy when the video of him beating Cassie spread online. Now, Jane claims that after Cassie's November 2023 lawsuit, they took a break, but during the break, all hell broke loose. During conversations on December 7th, 2003, she sent an attachment to Diddy. The attachment wasn't shown in court, but she sent it with the following text: "Please stop using women for your fetish and leave women alone. Hire prostitutes and stop emotionally harming women that love you." Now, she claims that in response, Diddy thought that she was setting him up, alleging that she had been recording their private conversations. She says she did it in self-defense because she was tired of the hotel room parties. She went on to explain that Diddy to explain how to Diddy how she felt undervalued in their relationship, allegedly texting, "I became the side chick and sex worker in my own relationship." Later, she's texting, "I'm crying and it's so close to some nights I felt forced." Now, as the two continue to disagree, she claims Diddy threatened to release her sex tape to her child's father. In response, she called his assistants, KK, who claimed that she was going to hide the device that the tapes were on. Jane claims that KK told Diddy, give these things space. Otherwise, we end up in a situation like we're in now," seemingly referring to Cassie's lawsuit. Now, after December conversation, she claims she didn't communicate with Diddy until February of 2024, when he messaged her that he had a dream about her, and she claimed that she did respond because she missed him dearly. I was having a conversation with a friend over the weekend, and he is under the pretense that these women, he felt like that what these women are going through, Cassie and his other girlfriends, is life, that they chose a lifestyle, and this is what they're doing. That's why they kept going back. I disagree with him, but he said this is why they're going back. He said people do it all the time. He said there's some people who will sleep with the store manager if it will benefit them in their career at the store or give them different perks. What do you think when you hear? Because I also heard that when she said she read Cassie's lawsuit, she was like, "This is my life. This is what I went through." Brittany, as a woman, what are your thoughts when you're hearing this stuff?
Like I said last week, like two things can be true. I do think that they sold their soul to the devil for a lifestyle. Like I do think that, like, you know, sometimes walking away means not taking nothing with you. And if you like not the fame, not the money, not the house, not nothing, and it gets to a point where your dignity gotta mean more to you than the money and stuff. Oh, he wouldn't pay my cell phone bill. I'd be like, baby, it's gonna be prepaid Metro PCS for a while. Like
Yeah.
it gotta be some things, you know what I'm saying? You could have gone and got a title on a car. You could have sold some of them bags. Like it has to be something that's just like worth more. I could not imagine. Yeah, I don't know what I mean, you know me. My Instagram is private. I got like 3 pictures on there. You will never find me. Like, so for me, the fame is not important. I mean, I do like nice things, but I couldn't imagine going through what they went through just to have a certain type of lifestyle. But everybody's different and we all have our vices. So I get it.
Very true.
So mhm.
TK, what are your thoughts?
I mean, just like Brittany said, we talked about this before. Two things can be true at the same time, and it's a matter of what's the price on your dignity? What's the price on your soul? How far are you willing to go for things and trinkets and a lifestyle? For some people, it varies where the line is. And then how smart are you when you're making these decisions to deal with the things that you're dealing with? My thought process, and maybe it's because I'm thinking with a testosterone brain, you're going to give me something that has a deed on it, that has my name on it, that I can cash into some value for myself if I need to when I no longer have you.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is when you're tired of the abuse or you're tired of the mistreatment and you step away and you start to realize, oh, what I do have or the allotment of money that I have is dwindling down and I'm starting to miss, what I had, and those doors don't open anymore that used to open. People that used to associate with me don't associate with me anymore. I need to go back so I can be in that same space again. Honestly, that fame and that money, it's addictive.
It is.
I don't know how many people have had an opportunity to be in those spaces and in those rooms and with those people, but it's very addictive. But at the end of the day, you have to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you're lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it is addictive, and that's why you see so many people who are famous who have so many problems with addiction and
Hmm.
managing money because they're just living that lifestyle, not paying attention to who they are, and they lose track of who they are. So yeah.
And let's keep it 100. You need money to be around money.
Oh
It
yeah.
costs money to be around money.
Yeah. Very true.
We gotta start holding people accountable for their own decisions and actions. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I think he's not a good person, but I also think that, you signed up for something and you got a little bit in over your head and you didn't want to let it go. And
He,
that's the
he
work you
can't
gotta
do
do on your
anything
part.
if you don't give him the power. You give him
I
the power.
agree.
And the interesting thing is when she said that after all the abuse, all everything that happened, they didn't talk, and then she replied to his text because she missed him dearly. You know what I mean?
Missed him or missed the circumstances?
That she missed him dearly, as she testified to.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
Or maybe he got some good sex. Yeah, maybe. Well, no, because it ain't him, right? It's the
right.
entertainers. Oh, my bad. So it ain't even a dick, yeah. It's something else. Something I
Well,
can
it's,
normally that be the excuse for women to be like this sex be off the chain, but it ain't even that. So yeah, it's the money. Okay.
all right. Well, several immigration raids that reportedly took place in LA over the weekend. Now, many took to the streets to protest. By Sunday night, it was reported that Los Angeles police and California Highway Patrol made multiple arrests against the wishes of California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA's Mayor Karen Bass. President Trump deployed 2,000 National Guard troops to the city to help disperse protests. According to NPR, this marks the first time in 60 years a president has used federal power to deploy National Guard troops without the agreement of the state's governor. Now, he was also made comments about locking up Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom has responded. Now, after President Trump has voiced his support for the arrested and the sitting state governor while speaking to reporters at the White House today, he responded to a question from Fox News correspondent Peter Dosey regarding ongoing back and forth between Governor Gavin Newsom, and Trump's border czar, Tom Homan. The reporter asked Trump, should he do it, referring to Homan arresting Newsom. Trump responded, I would do it if I were Tom. On X, Newsom wrote, "The President of the United States just called for the arrest of a sitting governor. This is a day I hope I would never see in America." Now, former Kamala Harris, VP Kamala Harris, she released a statement as the government deployed those National Guards to LA. You know, that's where she lives. Today, a protest did take place in LA as residents rallied against Trump and the ICE raids. And they said the officials have used tear gas, flashbangs to separate the crowds. According to CNN, downtown LA was declared an unlawful assembly area, and at least 2 Waymo self-driving cars were set on fire. So people are saying that Trump is exacerbating this by bringing out the National Guards, intimidating people. When the governor said, and I saw another city official said that the police are prepared to deal with these kind of situations, like when a national championship is won and people get rowdy and flip cars over. They're trained to do that. These people are trained to go to war and to, violently attack people, the National Guard. So, and Trump said he will continue to do it. But the government, the local government, the governor and the mayor, they're saying we don't want this. Chike, what are your thoughts when you see these protests and the response from Donald Trump?
That man is itching for a scratch. He wants this. Mm-hmm. He finds delight in this.
Yeah. He
wants to provoke American people so that he can have the opportunity to use the Insurrection Act to have martial law on the streets. That's what he wants. And if you notice, he's inching to it more and more by antagonizing situations. These people are already showing up to court. They're already doing what is supposed to be done by law. Why are you showing up, snatching them off the streets? You're denying them the due process. That's illegal.
Snatch them up from court when they're going to their court.
They don't even make it to court.
Yeah. Brittany, what are your thoughts on all this?
It's sad. I think it's shown people them going in the restrooms and just all the different things. It's sad. I'm torn. I am. I have empathy because it's sad and I hate to see what's going on with my fellow Americans. However, we try to tell y'all. So you need to be like, all them Latinos for Trump, I need y'all to hold yourselves accountable. Like, I'm confused. So somebody had said that they thought that he was going to go after cons and drug people and all these other kind of stuff. And then it was just like, yeah, I need somebody to hold them accountable for who they put in the office, because I did the protesting for Black Lives Matter, and I just feel like y'all went and put him in the office, and now we got to get back out here and protest again.
So, but we're all in this together, right? And from the inception, and I don't want to insult anyone's intellect or intelligence, but we're all in this together. So if he comes for one, he's coming for all. Whether you be an immigrant or not, there's due process in this country. There's laws that protect you. You could be guilty. You could be the world's most heinous serial killer. Jeffrey Dahmer had due process. He ate people. He had due process.
What made them think that this man was joking or that he would consider this? Like, and then my thing is, y'all read Project 2025. He presented all this stuff to y'all. Marjorie Taylor Greene got on the news and said, "Oh, I did not read that part of the bill that I don't like." Y'all sound so fucking dumb listening to these things.
So part of it is most people in their life, they live in their bubble. People live in their own space, and they don't think about how other things can affect you, or they think about things that happen in other countries and they don't think how that can affect you. People just need to remember this. COVID started over there. Where did it wind up? Here. That's everything. We're all on this together. This rock is not separated. You're no different than the next.
Exactly.
What affects one affects all.
And that's the thing. I think people thought it was going to happen to them and not to other people, and not them. And we're seeing now that some of these farmers that voted for Trump, they're losing staff because they're rounding up their employees and taking them away, hardworking people. And the Constitution says if anyone touches American land, they are due process. They can't just be thrown to a different country. They've been arresting people who are vacationing here from different countries. Just assume they're racially profiling people based on how they look and how they speak, and not knowing the people. A lot of people that they're arresting are here legal documents, some kind of visa. He's overturning visas and things like that. And it's somewhat. I was watching Don Lemon. He goes live on his show, and they had a guest, and she was saying, I bet you this is not going to be the last place this happens. Trump likes this. He wants to see violence. He wants to see that so he can, get his base riled up. They're going to start seeing these in different states, this National Guard. And I hope not, because that's going to be crazy.
Well, they already have it's heavy police presence in Atlanta. They're
Yeah.
pulling people over for registrations and any kind of traffic violation to check and make sure that it's not anything else going on with ICE. Like if you go down like the south side of Atlanta, it's cops everywhere, and it's like just heavy state patrol and everything. And I just feel like, yeah, like this, it's really, really getting out of hand. And I mean, when I go through the comments on Instagram, that's almost like why you want to hold them accountable for their decision, because these are the consequences. Because it's the people still in the comments on social media saying they would have voted for him again.
Yeah.
Like they still stand behind their decision, even with all of this.
You saw the news reporter. She was reporting in LA, and she got shot by a rubber
bullet
by the National Guard, and they seem like he did it on purpose.
Wow.
But speaking
I can see that. I can see that.
Speaking of what you were saying, Brittany, Plies did take to social media to address the Latino and Hispanic Trump supporters, and he said, "Dear Latino and Hispanic community, many thought voting for him was going to get you acceptance or monetary gain. You either overlooked the evil agenda or believed the lies and left a lot of your own people out to dry. No one deserves evil treatment, but elections do have consequences." And we're seeing them now. We're seeing them now.
You know that one. I'm thinking of Samuel Jackson and the role he played in Django Stevens. Stevens was the house slave that had free run of the property, had the keys. He was kind of like the boss of the rest of the slaves.
Yeah.
Being caught up in that, brother, you still forgot. You're still a slave.
Exactly. Well said. Well, listen, when we come back, Simone Biles and sports political contributor Riley Gaines exchanged words after Minnesota high school softball team won. They had a transgender pitcher on the team. And find out why Real Housewives of Atlanta's Brit Eady is suing Bravo. All that much more. We're back after this.